Without a doubt, NFL players are some of the richest athletes in the world of sports, and it's a no-brainer that every athlete loves to splurge on themselves after relentless months of training and playoffs. Whether it's a luxury car or a luxury home, NFL players find their way to the top of the list. However, while some NFL players are splurging so hard on their homes, some are also found living in the weirdest places and neighborhoods. From an NFL player living in the woods for a few dollars, to NFL players living in cribs and buildings worth millions of dollars. Let's get right into the video to know the $1 versus $400 million homes NFL players own. Ricky Williams. Maybe Ricky Williams was going for a different aesthetic of something far away from luxury and extravagance. Or Ricky was just dirt broke at that moment. He found his way to the list of NFL players living in the cheapest home anyone could imagine. With about $7, Ricky Williams made himself a comfortable tent to call his home in the woods in Australia many years back. Imagine a popular NFL player found in the woods, and he wasn't there to hunt or camp for the night. It was his home for a while. The minimalist tent setup looked like a cabin structure in which the player helped himself with the basic idea of a room with a bed. Every other thing had to be sourced for, since it couldn't all be in a tent. While fans were not happy with Ricky's decision as it was found absurd, the NFL player claimed his time in the woods made him find a new purpose in life, as it was essential to his mental health and personal growth.
$7 a day to stay in the campground, and I loved it. You know, just growing up in San Diego, I wasn't really around nature a lot.
Marlon Humphrey. If you were thinking Ricky Williams went too far, oh, well, there's Marlon Humphrey with a completely different perspective on homes to live. At least Ricky was stationed in a place and was off the grid. In Marlon's case, he had a mobile home.
You know, I'm gonna get a camper. So this has been my off-season crib, as you see.
Marlon's home went everywhere with him as it was a camper he could drive anywhere and everywhere. Despite signing a 5-year deal of nearly $100 million with the Ravens as their cornerback, Marlon went off to live in a camper during the offseason. Marlon's decision wasn't deliberate, as he had to wait for the completion of his new home, which had faced construction delays due to the 2020 pandemic. However, fans thought Marlon could have rented a condo or even put up at a hotel or something, but the NFL had other plans. Marlon's plan, which was a camper that had the basic amenities he needed at that time, cost him only about $60,000. When Marlon was eventually questioned about his choice of home at that time, the athlete claimed living in the camper played a major role in him staying grounded and appreciating the simple things in life. Aside from those two factors, we can all agree the NFL player also made a reasonable financial decision. Antonio Brown. This list only gets better, because who would believe NFL wide receiver Antonio Brown once lived in a treehouse? Yeah, you heard that right. A treehouse. Antonio's decision to live in a treehouse wasn't deliberate, but it happened anyway. The NFL player had collaborated with the team from Animal Planet's Tree Masters to construct a 2-story treehouse at his residence. While other treehouses may seem boring, Antonio's $200,000 treehouse came with some interesting and unexpected features. The treehouse structure showed how it's anchored by a maple tree and several oak trees. Additional support came from a wooden post at the back of the house. There's also the extensive steel elements, which includes the infamous spiral staircase, stamped steel shingles, and railings. The treehouse amenities really did justice to the money spent on it, as it includes a wall of windows that provides panoramic views of the surrounding landscape. There's also a crow's nest accessible via a spiral staircase, offering elevated views of the property. But seeing a crow nest isn't anything weird since it's a treehouse. But no one expected the treehouse to have a luxurious sub-level bar situated beneath the main platform, or the modern comforts such as a jacuzzi shower and a TV viewing room. Another addition to the treehouse, even though it wasn't directly in the house, but in its surroundings, is the personal football field and basketball court, which isn't bad for an athlete like Antonio. Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr., known for his social lifestyle, made it his mission to always stay that way in every aspect of his life, even when it was about him choosing a home to live in. Odell owns a couple of properties, but one of them specifically stands out, and that's Odell's $3.6 million crib in Columbia Station, Ohio. Spending $3.6 million on a crib is insane, but the features it came with and Odell's personal collections in the home makes it all perfect. The home comes at a 10,000 square feet of living space. The facilities include a basement, equipped with a pool table, an air hockey table, and a bar space with multiple TVs useful for Odell's social gatherings. Being an athlete and having that type of mansion played another role, as there's also sports amenities, including a basketball court and a private gym. There's also the outdoor swimming pool, included as a backyard setup, which covers the hot tub, a seating area, and a beautiful view of the mansion. Without missing out on the most talked about part of the mansion, there's the infamous Odell shoe closet that has more shoes than a Foot Locker. Maybe it's his line of work, or just his pure love for excellent shoes and their designers. But Odell's shoe closet has been named one of the most iconic shoe closets in the country. Tom Brady. Only Tom Brady knew what he had in his mind when he opted to purchase a $17 million mansion. The NFL quarterback has access to a couple of properties in his name, but this mansion, sitting on water, located on Indian Creek Island in Miami, Florida, tops the list of his properties. The mansion, which is often referred to as the Billionaire Bunker, lives up to its name judiciously. From the mansion's full width being covered by the usage of drones only to the top-tier security of the location it's situated, Tom's mansion is nothing short of a dream home to other athletes. With a mid-century architectural design of open spaces, large windows for natural light, and sleek lines on the building, the mansion encompasses multiple interesting features. The outdoor space includes a luxurious swimming pool, multiple outdoor couches, dining spaces, umbrellas, and tanning chairs. There's also the equipped private gym made to suit Tom's athlete lifestyle, a home theater, a game room, and a golf simulator. There's the grand living room, a multiple master suite, and the guest suites. Other luxury features of the $1 million mansion include an integrated technology hub used for lighting of the house, security, and even climate change. There's a wine cellar, a fire pit lounge, and a spa area that covers the jacuzzi, sauna, and a cold plunge pool. Tom Brady definitely made a big splash of investment when he purchased that one, because the real estate market would definitely double that price in a few years. Clay Matthews. Clay Matthews spent his money from his career like it wasn't anyone's business, because it really wasn't anyone's business. Clay raised the bar for NFL players' homes with his $30 million home in the Oaks of Calabasas. This is a gated community to many celebrities, including the likes of the Kardashians. Clay's Calabasas Castle sits on about 1.65 acres, with a mind-blowing design and interesting features. The mansion has about 7 bedrooms, a home theater for the family, and a wine cellar. There's also a whopping 800-gallon saltwater aquarium for the family's exotic fishes. There's an additional unusual feature of a hidden forest that leads to a secret room used as a safe by the family. As expected, there's an outdoor swimming pool used for recreational activities. Clay being an athlete definitely means there's a sports side to the mansion, as there's a sports court and a private gym that satisfy the athlete's needs. Chad Ochocinco. Living in a place worth $445 million as an athlete will have anyone wondering how that's possible. That type of thing is for the royalties, not for an athlete binded by a contract with a salary. But there's Chad Ochocinco. Chad, living in a place. That expensive gets more interesting when you know he didn't even have to pay a dime for his accommodation. Letting the cat out of the bag, the former NFL wide receiver wasn't about to spend his earnings for the first 2 years on things like a home that would sink his pocket. Chad thought to himself that he had everything he wanted at the stadium he would always have to come to, so why not just stay there for free? That was smart. And no one had an issue with Chad Ochocinco staying at the Cincinnati Bengals Stadium during the first 2 years of his NFL career. Chad couldn't go looking for another accommodation with all the features he needed on a living when he was just starting out. The stadium had everything he needed, from training facilities, sleeping space meant for the players, the team's cafeteria catering to his dietary needs, to his entertainment not being limited, as the stadium has the players' lounge for recreational purposes. In Chad's words, "You gotta remember I stayed at the stadium for the first 2 years because I didn't want to spend no money."
You used to live in the stadium too.
I stayed in the fucking stadium the first 2 years.
That's
What is
how
that story I heard? Yeah, what is the story about the stadium?
I didn't want to spend any money.
I
didn't want to spend any money.
What the fuck do you mean?
Listen, the NFL stadium has a player's lounge. It has a couch. It has a kitchen. It has food. It has shower. What am I going to buy a place for? And everything I need is right here where my job is.
Well, he didn't. And that helped him in the best way known to him.